You're listening to 15 Minutes to Fame. I'm mikO Tolliver, here with part 2 of my conversation with lyricist YannaT as we talk about our dreams being independent artists.
Why keep going?
All right. Why keep going? I seriously hardcore want to hit like a cricket sound effect. I'm gonna hit it right now. Why keep going? I am not gonna lie to you. I have totally gotten to that depressed state where I'm just like, fuck this.
Me too.
But the reason why I've gotten there was because I felt like I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing all this stuff to promote, to try to book, to perform the show, write the show, produce the stuff, make money, cover my own bills, doing like you really do get bogged down. And so I know it. You get to that point where you're just like, I just can't do this anymore. That being said, I know what it is to quit. And then you find yourself in a garage with some wooden pallets, putting together a makeshift stage and setting up a camera because you got a new idea. And then you're like, why am I carrying these fucking pallets? And you're just like, because this is what I do. That's why. This is what I do.
That's who I am.
This is who I am. It's who I am. It's what I do. Yes, I would love to be making more money at it. Yes, I believe I deserve more support. Yes, I try to stay hopeful that will still come and I'll find a way to do it. I gave lessons for a long time. I can think of a couple of my students who I've seen on like I said before, like I had a student who was on Saturday Night Live. And you might be like, oh, that was really cool. But that was not fun to watch. Because I'm just like, I taught the night. This is what I do. And there's being true to the art, just the art. There's respecting the game and it's a business. Because I see people who like, they can spit out art, but they can't turn it into a business. And I don't know. I don't like looking at that. I see people who they're totally engrossed into the business where you're just like, is this really being art? I mean, it's so many things. Like I said, you can really only be true to yourself. I know that I can't quit this. It will show up in another format in some other way. So that's what I try to just be true to myself. Like, what am I in this for? I try to hold space for that humility that I need to see that some people have gotten to a certain place that maybe I haven't gotten to. I try to also look at those people like, okay, you take like Bad Bunny, right? Okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to play the Super Bowl. But I mean, there are other things that I have in my life that maybe he doesn't have. You know, he's got his song Mucha Novia, which I love that song. Don't get me wrong, that's my song, that's my jam. But I also hear in that song, I'm just like, okay, imagine being at that level and you're like, yeah, I got all these girlfriends, but I mean, do you have love? Do you have true love? That's important to me. Do you have privacy? That's very important to me. I would hate it if people were just like constantly in my face. I was actually at a function somewhere and this guy like grabbed me. And it wasn't an aggressive grab. He was trying to get trying to get my attention. Now, I'm more into like a tap. That probably would have been cool, but the grab, I don't like that. Now imagine being really famous and people are grabbing you all the time. There's good and bad to it.
And you got to maintain.
You got to maintain. And you're just like, you see all the cameras, you're like, I got to keep the smiling. That's a lot. I wouldn't want to do that. So I don't know. The most I can say is I just this is just who I am. I continue to try and just carve out space for it. I try to make sure I'm doing it on my own terms. What that means, I continue to redefine that. I continue to make sure that I'm being true to that. And that's the best that I got. How do you stay in it and you feel like
I too have just kind of been feeling a bit deflated, if you will. And to your point, it's like, because it is a part of you, the reason you do it is for no other reason than you. And it'd be great to make money off of it but I fully am aligned with you on, but what are the things that I value most and matter most to me? And I know that I am never at a deficit of like love and community. I am never at a deficit for like just my appreciation and gratitude, you know. So like I'll take that, and I also want the other things. So it's a matter of, is it like to what extent does like get rich or die trying become?
Yeah, I mean, think of too of how many artists did get rich and then they were like, fuck this is whatever.
And by rich, let me be clear, just if I could make the same amount of money or more that I do in nonprofit, that's success.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's actually kind of what drew me into it. I think I had heard a stand-up bit from like Dave Chappelle, who said when he was younger, he wanted, I think, to be a comedian, and I think he was talking to his dad. I forget the story exactly, but someone was just saying, just like, how are you going to make money at that? That you're not going to be successful. But he was trying to point out that it was like, if I make the same amount of money as a school teacher, then we're good, right? And I did always apply that kind of thinking to it, especially even when I was younger. I was like, well, I'm making a living. Like when I had the after school program, I was like, I'm making a living from this. And I was doing really well. Like, I mean, how many 20-year-olds do you know, maybe not famous, maybe not super rich, but can be like, yeah, I really only work like 15 hours a week for other people. And I have all that other time to continue to pursue my art. And I'm making enough money I had a nice little apartment. I had a car. I'm like, if I wanted to buy something, I wasn't hungry, I was good. I would go with that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've quit this so many times. But I mean, what's that Godfather line? Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in, right? I mean, yeah, just maybe a few weeks ago, I did play a little gig and I just played some cover songs. I got paid for that. I always go back to the after school program because that was big. I mean, I lived off of that for like a long time, over a decade, right?
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah. I mean, there is, I got a grant once for $200,000. Like that was for somebody saying, being like, look, I got this little art idea. We're going to do this. And you just keep, I send you receipts. You just keep giving me the check. And that happened. And that it worked. I'd also like to point out that even Michael Jackson, even Michael Jackson had to write a check for his art sometimes, and maybe oftentimes. And, Michael Jackson owned the Beatles catalog. I can't say for sure, but how do we know that most of his money didn't come from money he made off of that, and everything for his own art he was always writing checks for?
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I always hated the artists I would come across and they didn't want to spend any money on anything.
How does that work?
How does it work? I don't know. You tell me, because I've come across that so many times. I've come across so many artists, entrepreneurs, small business people that I say, hey, if you just do this, it's $50. I don't have time for all that. Hey, if you just do this, this is like 3 months of just this, and you pay like $100. Nah, we don't have the funds for that right now. That is, when I hear that, I'm like, I feel like that's a lack of value that they have for themselves. Because I think I'm probably going to always be throwing money at this. I have an idea, and until I get to that place where I can just go to someone and be like, they know, like, oh yeah, whatever idea that mikO comes with, that's going to turn into a profit for everybody. You're going to have to keep throwing money at it. And that really is actually a business model of just like, keep throwing money at it. Let's take the Kardashians, for example. Are they talented? People, Barbara Walters is like, you guys have no talent. They're really famous. Like, even their show, Keeping Up with Kardashians, like, they just kind of kept throwing money at it. They just do it again. Just do it again. Throw some more money at it. That is actually something you can do until it takes off, because they had the funds to continue to keep it in your face until it grew on you. And people were like, all right, Saved by the Bell. That got canceled 3 times before it became this big hit. Imagine if they, after the second time, they were just like, well, we got canceled again. Let's just quit.
Right. Take money to make money.
It takes money. It does take money. Now, that really sucks as someone who's like a working class artist or a middle class artist, because you're just like, I'm trying to survive here. But I mean, I think you're always going to be trying to survive.
I think it's a mix of that and community. I think that when you are an artist who shows up authentically, you're very clear about what it is you're here to do, you find community, and then it becomes less about the money and more about community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just based on the way that we met.
Yeah.
And now look at what's happening now.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, there's that to it as well.
And I know everybody, again, there's always Cole who's working the controls in the back theory. I'm gonna have to get a little picture of something of Cole just doing like this. He's really like, I want to say incognito, but like he's very quiet, but he's definitely there. Like, he is someone, actually, though, I've seen Cole out at so much stuff, like stuff all the time. Like, I'll go to an event and he's already there, and I'm like, oh dang, can he get me in? I actually have called him up at once, and I think once he was like, oh, tell him that you're with me and they'll give you my pass to get in. He's always volunteering at stuff. We have this other mutual friend who was just all like, yeah, you got to respect his hustle. He's always doing something. And then I always building community. He's like, I think he was just telling me about an incubator where he was trying to win like $30,000 for a grant. I love that. And then like, it's great. I know what that is. I have had people say that to me, like, you're always doing something. You just keep putting yourself out there. And I'm like,
being visible.
Yeah.
That is
visible.
currency.
That is currency. Cause you get to a point, people are just like, you're always
seeing this person.
I keep seeing this person.
Which means they're tapped in, or they're skilled, or whatever the case may be.
They just keep popping up. We were just, before we started recording, we were talking about McDonald's and how, granted, I don't eat McDonald's. I'll just put it like that. Nor do I. But I said what I can respect about McDonald's is the business plan and just kind of the hustle that, McDonald's feeds 1% of the world's population in a world where we're constantly talking about famine and hunger. Now, is it always the best food for them to eat? That's a different conversation. But the story of how the guy, what was his name? Kotz? Or I forget his name. Ed something. Anyway, the whole billionaire, how he came. Koch, right?
Koch,
yeah. How he became the McDonald's guy. He'll tell you, like, his real secret was persistence, because he didn't become successful. He didn't even find McDonald's, I think, until he's like 50s, right? Think about that. Imagine going 50 years of failure, 50 years of one harebrained scheme after another entrepreneurial thing, something else. I've had someone call me a serial entrepreneur. He was a serial entrepreneur for 50 years before he finally found McDonald's. And he's like, my real secret was persistence. I just kept at it. That is the real secret that for anything, because that's how it's going to grow. And I've had some other mentors kind of say to me, like, everybody always wants this one big hit. Yes, I would love a big hit. That'd be great. Oh my goodness, if I got a big hit and you'd be like, let me guess, mikO, you at the beach. I'm like, no, because I don't have to work no more, baby. Right. But for all I know, my art could start to suffer because I'm not hungry anymore, right? But what it really is about a bunch of little successes. Can you stay consistent? And I've even heard that that's a factor of how the powers that be that are in charge that pick the people to be successful, like, can they continue to produce time and time again as things go on, as the fame gets to them, the money changes them, can they continue to put out stuff? That's where I focus on. That's where I kind of try to keep it. Yeah, that's me.
No, I mean, I think that's it. Like, mic drop on that. You have to sort of round it out. Yeah. You keep at it because you have to.
But I wouldn't even say that you have to. You keep at it because that's who you are. You said you were an artist, right?
I feel like is the equivalent to you have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Okay, I get that. You're just like, this is what I do. Yeah. I want to continue to do it. I love it. Like, I again started as a songwriter. Music ate my brain when I was a kid. It was all I thought about day and night. It was so much. I didn't really need to date anybody because I'm like, well, I don't want somebody being like, hey, give me all of your attention. I'm like, oh, I really wanted this attention to write a song. There'd be times I'd date someone and then like it wouldn't work out, and then I'd go and maybe I'd be at a party or doing something, and I'd be thinking, oh, if I was still with them, I wouldn't be able to do this because they were kind of holding me back. Like, this really is what I do. I have tried to quit, like I said, and I just kind of keep finding myself in these harebrained schemes. And I would even say, as a real adult now too, like as I continue to pursue things and even more adult, more mature things, I still think of, okay, here's a new business venture. This could make some money. And maybe what really keeps me in it, and I'm like, if it really starts to make some money, then I can do some more art.
Well, I will always support the harebrained schemes.
Yeah.
And you got a partner in crime.
Oh. Be careful what you say.
Hey, it's on record.
It's on record.
It's
I'm
on
gonna put it out
record.
there around the
It's
world.
on
Yeah,
record.
I'm so glad you came here to hang out. I think
Happy to be here.
I think this is probably like maybe my 7th episode, 6th or 7th episode. I'm gonna have to check of all the podcasts. But great again, everybody. 15 minutes of fame. It's been really great. Been trying to get some more people to come out and finally got someone. It's good too.
Happily.
So this is really great. Thank you so much for coming. And want to remind everybody to subscribe, like, follow, share, re-listen. Some people have been following me. I've been getting some new followers on like social media. At mikO Tolliver. What's your social media?
At YannaT 904.
Okay.
YannaT 904.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little like word there for
Superimpose.
you. So you can
YANNA.
But it's been great because some people have been like kind of like following me, and I'm like, why? Where am I getting these random people? I'm like, oh, I think it's from the podcast. So it's just continue to build. I've been having fun with this podcast too. Again, for everybody that I'm asking to follow me. Support me on Patreon because you need funds to keep it going. But it turned into this kind of like, I started back in November. We're doing like twice a month. And at first, the thing that kind of caught me up doing about it at first was committing to it. Like, am I going to be able to follow through on it? But it's really turned into my little thing. You can watch it on like YouTube. You can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. But it's been my thing now, and I kind of like it. I like what it's kind of grown into. I'm excited to grow it more. I think of the podcast that I did back at the radio station at the nonprofit that I worked at and how I was able to grow it. That is actually because of that thing. That's how I got that $200,000 grant. So I know that this system works. So again, I want to encourage people to support and check back again. 15 minutes of fame. Yanna's going to be here. We're going to have a good time. We're going to just we'll find more topics to talk about. It's going to be great. All right. We're all good.